Oh, the beautiful smell of lilacs at this time of the year, at least here in Thunder Bay on the north shore of Lake Superior, where I'm located. We are finally getting lilacs in full bloom. And this is from a small little bush that I planted a couple of years ago. And there are an abundance of lilac blossoms. So, what a wonderful smell it brings, not just to the outdoors, but I love it when you bring it indoors. How is everyone this evening? Today is June the 11th, 2026, and I'm Diane, owner of a business called Take a Hike and Take Two Boutique, and I am delighted to once again on a Thursday evening at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I'm excited to be joining my friends, my online friends and family, and people that just might stumble upon us because the world we live in today means that very simply we can reach out to people around the globe, which is really quite amazing. So, hello to all of you who might be joining us for the live stream presentation. Or the replay, which is available on Facebook on the Take a Hike and Take Two Boutique Facebook page for the next 30 days, or on the Shop with Diane YouTube channel. So if you are joining us, please in the comments section say hello. Everyone is always interested in knowing who is joining us. So, oh my goodness, what can I tell you? Well, this evening we don't have a big shopping show, just an update. And I shouldn't say just an update because people enjoy knowing what's going on, not just in my life nor in the business, but events that are happening in and around Northern Ontario here, or maybe national celebrations, what's happening internationally. Um, People are curious. So thank you for joining us. And I see Tammy in the comments section saying hello. Hello to you, Tammy. Great to have you on board this evening. And so, as I was saying right off the bat, it's lilac season here in Thunder Bay. And I am just, oh my goodness, if you have lilacs, you know when you bring them indoors, that just is such an incredible, beautiful scent. So I have some with me. So what am I going to tell you this week? Well, something that I did, which I hadn't before, and I can thank my mother for inviting me to join her and some others on a bus outing on Saturday morning, where my parents are living in a senior residence, and there was a bus outing to the Pioneer Village. And that, if you're here in Thunder Bay, you would know, driving out Highway 61, past the Correctional Center, the new big complex that's being built, there is a museum, the Pioneer Village, and that's on the way to the Canada-US border, Highway 61. So I joined a bus tour, and I have to tell you, you got to get out there. If you're looking for something to do on a weekend through the summer, it is probably the best $5 you'll spend to get into the Pioneer Village, but also a great way to spend time. And if you're at all a history buff, or if you're my age, or you may, some of the stuff, can you believe it, are things that we grew up with are now in a museum or a Pioneer Village, but it may be items that you remember your parents having or your grandparents having. And out at the Pioneer Village, there are a number of buildings there, artifacts with explanations from blacksmith shop to what was rural living, pioneer living, I can't even begin to explain the number of things that are on display, but it was really wonderful to go with my mom, Elsie, and to see her cradle, the cradle that she, when she was an infant, was rocked to sleep in. So, if you would go out there to the Duke Hunt Museum, just as you come into the bigger hall, which was formerly the Slate River Hall, it was moved to that location. Just in the door on the right-hand side, you'll see this beautiful cradle, and that happened to be the one that my mother slept in. So it was really great to see that in person. And uh, yeah, I grew up in the Slate River Valley, and a number of the artifacts there are familiar to me. But there's things like for railway station, um, general store, car displays. There's so much to see. It's open Friday, Saturday, and Sunday through the summer, and from 12 noon till 4 p.m. Admission is just $4. And I think it'd be a great place to pack a picnic lunch and head out there. It's a beautiful drive, just a short distance out of the city here. A beautiful drive where you see the Nor'western Mountains, and the rural area. Um, Pack a picnic lunch and spend a few hours getting reacquainted with our past, and it's really, really quite fantastic there. So that's what I did on Saturday, and thank you, Mum. And I see Mum is joining us now. My mum is Elsie. Hi, Mum. And if you're just joining us, you didn't catch on that I've got some beautiful smelling lilacs here to join me from my garden. I planted a couple of small lilac bushes a couple of years ago, and they're really blossoming. So I understand they're going to grow like weeds. That's okay with me. If those are kind of weeds that we have to endure, I'm good with that. Um, so that I would highly recommend as a weekend outing for the whole family is get yourself out to the Pioneer Village out Highway 61. Now, what do I have behind me? I have a new item that I've purchased, and uh, that is a digital piano, and that's not going to be its permanent location. I just received shipment of that a couple of days ago, and I had no idea that I would start some piano lessons online. But as many of you know, my folks have moved in a year and a half ago to Chartwell, Isabella, and I've gotten to meet a number of the residents there. And in one of the main activity rooms, there's this beautiful piano, a digital piano. One great thing about digital pianos, they feel and sound like pianos. You never have to get them tuned, though. So that's really good. But there's this beautiful piano in the activity room, and nobody plays it. And I keep asking the residents, do you play piano? And a number of them said, well, I used to. Or the answer is no. And I thought with the residents who hadn't played for a number of years, well, let's sit down at the piano, and maybe I'll pull up something on my phone. There's always things available online, and maybe we can meet up and you teach me and I learn to play. So you've probably done this yourself, where you download an app because you get like a free 7-day free usage, and then after that you subscribe. I had every intention of not subscribing, but life got busy, and all of a sudden I got this annual piano lessons on an app online. And what am I going to do with that? And I thought, oh my gosh, well, I'm having trouble getting at a regular time to Chartwell to sit at the piano with one of the residents. So I thought, well, why don't I pick up a piano and practice on my own? So I have been practicing Ode to Joy and Jingle Bells this week, but I'm learning more and more about the aging process and the importance of continually learning new skills. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to try my best to learn some skills, keep my fingers moving. So far, it's just one hand. Don't play with two hands. Keep my fingers moving. That would help with some stiffness, maybe some arthritis down the road. And who knows, maybe I will be ready to do a little recital come Christmas time. But that's my piano there behind, not its permanent spot, but I had it shipped here to the store. Um, anyway, it's the time of year that if you have any access to the outdoors, you probably are doing some gardening or tidying up the yard. And I know I have been. I've kind of neglected some of my own property and chores over the last few summers as I've been helping my parents out more and more. And some has really gotten out of control. So I've been pushing hard to take care of some of those things. Just today was the yard waste pickup for my home location. So here in Thunder Bay, a couple of times in the spring and a couple of times in the fall, the city will come around to pick up yard waste. So the pickup was today, so of course I needed to uh, get things pulled together for that pickup. So, what was included in the yard waste? Well, some big flower bed on the lot next to me had um, been a little bit neglected, especially last year. So this spring, I dug up the weeds and the grass that had grown into that, and added that to the yard waste. There were some twigs from some of the trees that had come down in strong winds over the winter, and they needed to be collected. Um, and Some of the pine boughs and so on that I'd used for Christmas um, outdoor planter displays, they needed to find their way off my property. So that was all put together. I've been doing some of that. Have a power washer. Oh, I love power washers, but I really, really needed to get to do a couple of decks and front entrance and sidewalk, and that is very satisfying to start to get some things spruced up outdoors. It's, as I said, I've been kind of neglecting some of the stuff in my personal life, and that seems to be typical of people that become caregivers, which I didn't fully appreciate until I've been taking on that role myself and letting some of my own things fall by the wayside. So it's been really nice to get on top of that. And I have been checking my garden. If you're here on the North Shore of Lake Superior, as I am, we've had a very late spring, and today was warm, but next week doesn't seem so good in terms of daytime highs and nighttime lows. So things are slow growing, but I see my beans are starting to come up, and my peas and my onions, and they got some garlic coming up. I've transplanted some cucumber plants, and those so far are doing well. Some beets are just starting to poke up. What else did I plant? Um, Parsley, not doing well. I think I might need to get some other transplants for those. And some flowers that I've planted in my raised garden beds are not doing well at all. I don't know what is holding them back. It could be, it seems some of the flowers are getting clipped off, maybe by some of the birds in the neighborhood. But maybe they're waiting for some better weather. It's been windy today, and that's drying out the soil. Is hoping we haven't had a lot of rain recently, we were hoping that last night we'd get a little bit more, but did a little walk around the neighborhood and noticed it was quite dry. And a number of people, their gardens in front of their homes, their flower gardens, are needing a watering. So another summertime chore. How's everybody doing? I see Tammy saying hello and my mom Elsie. Great to have you on board. Facebook doesn't really circulate the posts that businesses are doing without us spending money to help pass the post along. But you can also help our business and others that you support by simply giving us thumbs up or sending hearts or sharing or adding comments. So those are always appreciated, whether for the live stream presentation or for the replay. It all makes a huge difference. So now, this is a great time of year for a number of things. Yes, lilacs are out. Do you remember? I did some posts in past years where I made lilac jelly and lilac lemonade, which was very tasty. And if you haven't done that before, 'tis the season. And it's what you would do is you would take the blossoms and off of the plant and then pour hot water on top of that and let the wonderful aroma and flavor of lilac seep out of the petals, and that's sort of the base of what you start to make lilac jelly or lilac lemonade. That's what I was thinking. But also in past years at this time, we have had, I've encouraged people to get out and do some dandelion gathering and making things like dandelion jelly, which is really, really tasty. And there's many, many recipes for dandelions. So I have to warn you though, when you get carried away making lilac jelly and dandelion jelly, and you look at there's apple blossoms. I thought one spring I would make apple blossom jelly, but I thought I better check this online. I would do my research, only to discover that in apple petals, as in apple seeds, there is arsenic. Arsenic is not good. So unless you have devious reasons for making it, I would suggest do not make apple jelly, apple blossom jelly. You can make apple jelly, but not apple blossom jelly. That's off limits. So I'll have to do something about that. So rhubarb is ready, and had a little bit of rhubarb. I made rhubarb pie, custard pie. A friend sent me a recipe, and I've made that. And I've just picked up some strawberries from the grocery store, and I think I've got a really good low sugar raspberry straw. I'm sorry, not raspberry, rhubarb strawberry crisp recipes. So I've got the ingredients pulled together for that, and I'll have to make that up in the next day or so. So, oh, what a great time of year. Get out there, do some gardening and making, just enjoying the blossoms that are around, making use of the dandelions that maybe not everyone likes on their lawns, but there's all sorts of things you can make with that. And rhubarb is coming up. It's a great time of the year. So so there's different ways to preserve things. Last week, I think I was showing people a product that I was experimenting with. I'm not carrying the product yet. I'm not sure that I will unless I get put in a huge order with the manufacturer. They are not going to be affordable from my point of view. Um, the but step one is to find out new products and test them to see if you like them. So I've been doing a couple of experiments. Last week I showed, no, I should explain what this is. It's a mason genie, and a mason genie allows you to take a mason jar and put into it items that you want to preserve, extend, not preserve, but extend the life of. This isn't going to be vacuum sealed like you would make dill pickles or things that you're going to put away for months at a time. The idea behind a mason genie is extending the life of leftovers, of fresh fruits and berries that you might have, keeping brown sugar from turning hard, or perhaps raisins, keeping bugs out of things, just extending the life so there's less food waste. And what this product is you would put something into the mason jar that you want to preserve, not preserve, extend the life of, and you would put on a lid. And what this will do is over top of this, once it was filled, you would press a button here. I didn't put any fruit in it, of course, but it is going to suck out air and help create a vacuum inside. Now, the experiment I did last week, or I started it 3 weeks ago, I took a ripe banana, chopped it up, and put it into a jar. And I was going to say, I'm going to give it a big test. And in 2 weeks, I'm going to open the jar and see what the banana would be like. I opened it last week, and I'm going to tell you it kind of lost some of its firmness. It was more of it looked like chunks, but when I ate it, it was more like baby food. It was that softened up. So I think what I learned from that is, yes, it's good for bananas, so they don't get overripe. I like to have sometimes bananas on cereal. I'll take this off. So now it is got a vacuum seal to it. So if that is part of the process. So it was very simple. You put it on, press the button, wait for it to suck out some of the air. A 2 weeks extension of a ripe banana was maybe a little bit longer. So what I did last week, I had bought some raspberries, and I said I'm going to put some in a jar, and I'm going to leave some just out in the fridge like this. So starting to get, let's see, starting to get a little old looking. They're kind of past their prime. Lost a lot of moisture, starting to shrivel. One's starting to mold, a couple are starting to mold. So they were purchased, can we get that? Yeah, you want to look at a moldy piece of raspberry, I'm sure. So that's purchased a week ago. It's just stored in the fridge. I put these in a bottle, a smaller mason jar, and put a vacuum seal. That didn't really pop off. So what are they like? They're plump, a little bit moist in here. They're plump. They're doing much better than the ones that were just in the fridge. But I think I needed to suck a little more air. It wasn't much of a vacuum when I opened up, but you can see they are plump, nothing moldy. But it's kind of interesting. It's kind of like the bananas, I'm not sure here, where they just are not as firm. I think that's it. I'm going to do some more experimenting with this product. And I don't know if any of you have tried something similar to that, but I always like to find new products. I want to make sure that I can stand behind them and offer some value in terms of its usage. So you are watching this in real time if you're watching the live show as I'm learning it. And Marianne is joining us from Rossport. Hello, Marianne. Great to have you on board. One of the products that we have tested before bringing in, and just about every day somebody is reaching out to me to get some more, or I have an opportunity to have somebody try this MSM, which is an ingredient that comes from cedar bark, MSM All Natural Pain Relief Lotion. And today I was at Chartwell Isabella Senior Retirement Residence, and some of the newer residents were sitting outside, and we got talking about this product, and I brought out our tester bottle, and to a gentleman who is had fallen and didn't break anything, but had soft tissue damage to his leg. So he's for a short while in a wheelchair, and also someone with shoulder pain. These two people had tried it, and in both cases, like many of you have found, within a short period of time, under 5 minutes, in the case of the shoulder pain, gone, saying, "Oh my God, I have no pain." And the other gentleman was able to lift his leg up much higher than he was able to prior to putting this on. And so if you haven't tried it, you need to try it. And if you need some more, please reach back to me and let me know. The best way to reach me is to phone me or text me, and the number to reach me at is right there, 807-628-4334. That's 807-628-4334. The pricing on this is 100 milliliter bottle, which you can take on board a plane. It meets the regulations for flying, is $40 plus tax. The next size up bottle is 220 milliliters, a little more than double the size, and its price is $60 plus tax. Plus, I also have a liter bottle for $210. And from time to time, people are asking about those, so I have those. And as my mom said, "Hey, get on that show and make sure you sell MSM." So there you are. There's my little spiel for MSM. And I just did a new order for MSM. In past couple of years, I've been attending vendors markets through the year, and allowing people an opportunity to test them right on the spot. And that's where I've learned that about 80% of people who have a pain related to a muscle, tendon, ligament, or joint, about 80% of people within 5 minutes have a significant reduction of pain, or it disappears and they get increased mobility. Others will have to wait a little longer for it to work. What it is MSM is a highly potent anti-inflammatory. So if the inflammation is deep-seated, it'll take longer. Or in the case of my mom, who has severe osteoarthritis in her hands, she needed to apply it twice a day, but in about a week's time, the pain was gone, and only periodically does she need to use it. any longer. So it's a fantastic product. But speaking of vendors markets, I've just placed a new order for some MSM. I never want to run out of stock. And because it's a staple for us here at the store, and it's bringing so many people such incredible relief to arthritis and tendonitis, bursitis, trigger finger, carpal tunnel, restless leg, strained muscles, aches, pains. In my case, my biggest problem is a couple of toes from time to time. I'll have a bit of a flare up there on my feet, but what a fantastic product. So we got a chance to test that before I brought them into the store, and I'm so happy that we went that extra length to discover it, to try it out, and now bringing a lot of people an incredible amount of relief. It's good for anyone over 2 years of age and older, made in Canada, and doesn't interact with other medications. So love that, love that, love the company, love the product. It smells good too. It's and not greasy like some others. So coming up is Father's Day on the 21st of June. So maybe dad, dear old dad or grandpa, uh, uh, needs some MSM lotion. Give me a call if you think that that would be helpful. I know a lot of men who've worked physically with their hands for many, many years. They can't straighten their hands. I've discovered when I've done um, uh, demonstrations that sort of have cupped hands like that, and they'll put this on, and all of a sudden they're able to get more mobility from those hands. So a great practical product for dad and for the whole family. But it's Father's Day coming up on the 21st of June. It's summer solstice, which here in the Northern Hemisphere is going to be the the start of summer, but it's also the longest daylight of the year. And here on the North Shore of Lake Superior, here in Thunder Bay, where I am, we're going to have, oh my gosh, the time between sunrise and sunset is going to be a little more than 16 hours between then. And the shortest day, which will be in December 21st, I think it is, um, uh, it is only a little more than 8 hours. So we get very long days here, and I love this time of year. But it does wear me out because in the winter months, as it gets dark, you seem to, at least I do, wind down a little earlier in the evening and try not to pack in quite as much. But with this extra daylight, boy, you can think you can just keep going and going and going, but do get tired. So that's coming up, as well as Indigenous Peoples Day, where here in Canada we will be celebrating and recognizing the contribution and of the Indigenous people who first occupied this land and continue to be an important part of Canadian society. And so it's a day of celebration and recognition for the Indigenous population. So that's coming up. I was thinking that I might be able to do a Shop with Diane show, and I was thinking, is it possible for me to do it this next Thursday? But it doesn't work for pickup times with some medical appointments that are scheduled for my parents. So I won't be able to fit that in for next week, but perhaps the week following. Stay tuned. I really don't know. Those are great fun. I've done over 200 shopping shows showing customers unique products and allowing them an opportunity to purchase them during the show or after the show and coming by to pick up those items. It's been great fun. It's been a great way to build community and I haven't been doing as many in the past year because of responsibilities helping out my folks. And I know in speaking with so many of you, I realize that I am totally blessed to still have both my parents in my life, and how rare that really is when I have parents at the age of 90 and 100. So, or I should point it out, my dad is 100 and almost 8 months. Wow. And true blessing. I was visited with my folks a little earlier, and my dad and I went for a short walk outside, and then my mom and I went for a little walk in the immediate area there too. But for her, we used electric wheelchair. So it's I have this as I'm going through this period of caregiving. I have come to realize that as people age, the world can get smaller and smaller, it seems. So that is why I've been looking as a retailer for products that, instead of life becoming smaller and smaller, looking for ways to expand people's lives again. That's why we carry the super ear personal hearing amplifier now, something I got from my dad, who was practically deaf and not any longer wanting to wear his hearing aids. This device has allowed him an opportunity to hear, and what a difference it's made to his quality of life and that of our family. And carry that product. We have MSM for arthritis, tendonitis, bursitis, carpal tunnel, but we also, a little more than a year ago, when my mom was having some difficulties even moving any distance with a walker. She's doing much better now, but we had picked up a collapsible electric wheelchair. So collapsible meaning it's something that I can put in the back of my vehicle and we can be mobile with. But I couldn't have taken, my mother and I couldn't have done a walk around the block and looking at some of people's beautiful flower beds in front of their homes if we simply relied on my mom's walker. We were able to go around the block with the electric wheelchair. And so again, expanding the lives of people as they age, because we're aging, all of us, at the same rate. It just seems as we get into the later chapters of life that we really are caught by surprise by what's happening. So my eyes are getting wide open when it comes to aging. I don't really have very much more to share with folks other than that's kind of what I've been up to this week. And I do encourage you this summer to plan a trip out to the Pioneer Village out Highway 61. They're open, as I said earlier, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 12 noon to 4 p.m. Pack a lunch, have a nice picnic out there as well. So much to learn, so much to see. And when I went to see the Pioneer Village on a little bus outing and accompanied my mom and a bunch of others, we were there for not long enough to have just to be teased. And as my mother and I both agreed, can spend a day out there, could spend a week out there, and to take it all in. So just $5 admission to get in, well worth your time. And a drive out from the city of Thunder Bay, just Highway 61 takes you to the border, but this is just a short distance out of the city. And Linda's got a comment saying, great place to take children or grandchildren. I got to revisit my country roots. Yeah, Linda, it's, I think, you just going out there, because I know a lot of our viewers are over 50, but a lot of are over 60 and 70 and 80. And when you go, you'll go, "Oh my gosh, I remember that type of product. Oh, I remember that uh, in grandma's or your elderly neighbor's home," or it's really quite fascinating, and you'll learn a lot and enjoy a lot. So I am going to get back there this summer and take my mom and my dad, and uh, it's a great place. So good luck in your gardening and your yard work, and taking advantage of all the foods and fruits and vegetables that are coming into season. And I'll be back next Thursday with another update from Shop with Diane here in Thunder Bay at Take a Hike and Take Two Boutique. Thanks for joining, everyone, and appreciate your likes and hearts and thumbs up and shares and participation in any way. Thanks so much. Goodbye.